Hello, I'm around again, and today I want us to uh, talk about the question that gets asked often. Is it your business? I want us to talk about it because I am thinking business. Is it your business? And of course, my intention, maybe let me put this as a disclaimer. Um, my intention is not to say whatever I'm saying because I want to support rumor mongers as well as talebearers whose duty is from Satan and to destroy. That's not where I am. I want to also indicate that, yes, the question sometimes may be asked given the position the person finds himself or herself in or the approach that was used. But maybe let's try to look at it without trying to stir any controversy. Is it your business? Let's quickly think. I don't know what's a business. I mean, whatever the person is doing, which is what you're talking about, or the person's life may not be your business, so the person says. But is that really true? Is the question that I want us to explore. Because when we look at a business on a very serious note, is established with an objective. Of course, we know that it may be set up with the aim of satisfying people's needs and wants, and of course, thus providing goods and services. Ultimately, maybe they want to make profit, even though sometimes they may run at a loss. But we also know very important things about business, such as a business may have what we call internal stakeholders as well as external stakeholders. In other words, there are people who are interested in the business because its existence or otherwise would surely affect them. We also know that a business makes profit, or sometimes it runs at a loss. And whichever way, the community may be affected. Surely, I mean, we know that some businesses may use part of their profits to do corporate social responsibility. And of course, the people in that territory become beneficiaries. So, obviously, they can benefit from a business that they never set up. We also know that a loss may affect them because if the business is run at a loss, they may take certain decisions that may negatively affect the people. So maybe let's ask again, is it your business? And the question is probably looked at from this angle. Are you asking whether I'm the owner of the business? The answer is no, I may not be the owner, but it doesn't mean that what happens does not affect me. Now, I have come to think that oftentimes it's possible people may answer to such questions because of the approach that is used. But more often than not, people who ask such questions may be asking it as a matter of being defensive because they know what they are doing is not okay, which is why they ask, is it your business? That's not all. They sometimes people may ask that question because they really do not understand the fact that whatever happens to them, people are interested. From the Christian point, we know, and sometimes that question actually comes and it brings to mind the story of Cain in Genesis chapter 4, as he asked God a question. Am I my brother's keeper? Surely, God requires us to be our brother's keeper, which is why we go about evangelizing and sharing the good news. We are our brother's keeper. When a brother falls, it's hurting. When you see your brother going into destruction, surely that is no pleasant news. And therefore, it is our business. Sometimes it's because we are so selfish that we think nothing about us should bother anyone. But of course, that is not true. In the days that I have lived in this world, and I'm sure it's the same with you, I have never seen a corpse carry itself to the mortuary or to the graveyard. I've never seen that. I have never seen a corpse organize its own funeral. I have never seen a corpse mourning its own death. Now, that's an indication that whatever happens to us, there are people who get affected. And that is why it becomes our business. Now, I think I need to also mention that the question, is it your business, should always be asked in a way that would not let it look like, who asked you to care? And of course, to me, it's not even necessary to ask that question. Again, God directs in the book of Jeremiah, if I don't do my work, you don't do your work by helping people get from their sins, on their mistakes, and the things that will negatively affect people, eventually we will have to answer for such. Now, I know that, and I'm sure you do too, there are many deaths we could have prevented if we made some of these issues our business. There are many imprisonments we could have prevented if we made people's issues our business. There are many families we could have protected. There are many beggars we could have saved from begging if we made the stories around them our business. All these things, we're not saying require us to go and poke our noses into people's issues. But what's true is that sometimes the issues fall right before us. But either we ignore those issues or we allow people to tell us it's not our business. Brothers and sisters, God requires us to be each other's keeper. If you don't go poke your nose, but those things come right in front of you and you can help, please do help. The people may not appreciate it now, but later they would. Because circumstances at that point may not let them appreciate the fact that you are coming in to ask questions. But all we know is that if we will deal with issues that are devastating, all of us will become very beneficiaries. It is your business. It is my business. So let's not be asking people, is it your business? It may not directly affect me, but indirectly it would. And whatever effect it is, I am going to suffer it. I thank you.